We're going to start the show today with Prospect U's. We have one entry from Susanna Paris of Pittsylvania County.
Well, good morning to you here. Looking forward today to working once again with you young people and looking at your livestock, sorting, evaluating your commercial ewes. We've got one prospect here, and just to talk about her for a sec, very tall-shouldered, one that's very long in terms of her design, her hip elevated, very long blade forward, a nice little female here. Excuse me, in relation to the world of sheep. We could stouten her up in her running gear just a bit, level her a bit more out of her top line and her dock. But a really nice one this young lady brings to the ring in a good place to start.
That'll be a first place for Susanna Paris of Pittsylvania County. Up next is our white-faced commercial ewes. We have Samantha Wills from Fluvanna, Brooke Stein from Shenandoah, Madison Morris from King George, and Bo Earhart from Augusta. These ewes range in weight from 119 to 139. And just like yesterday, we'll be picking our overall champions in each division, and then we'll also be picking Virginia Bred and Virginia Reserve.
Well, a good place to start out here in a very good class, and not often in these particular classes that maybe arguably the brutiest one rounds out the class. But in this particular grouping, I think makes sense here just with what I see. I'll tell you and what we'll do today here, and it's a good place to be. Good stock here in the first class. Young man has the one that's the most unique, just in terms of width and rib cage. The one that is uniquely the longest spined, exceptional up top in terms of combining width right down her top line out through her hip and pin set. Very good in terms of her body and her cage. I like that one right behind her blade. I like her when I stand in front of her and read her just chest width and squareness to surface, her width and squareness as she moves away. She's not just practical, she's good looking. She's balanced up, and she's the one that's got the most substance to her from a sheer width, mass, and cylindrical cage standpoint. Very feminine ewe comes two in class, one that has a very neat body shape to her. She's functional in terms of her design. I'd like to drop her flank line. I'd like to extend her right out of her hip comparative to the one that leads off our class. That one for me just dries a little in terms of flank line. Not quite as dimensional as you read sheer width and squareness comparative to our class winner, but one that I think is better just in terms of her softness of center and definitely in terms of shape and upper forerib than the one that comes three in class. Another extended and just by pattern more similar to our class winner comes third class, one for me that I think is a little more vertical in her shoulder angle and her knee, one that's a little flatter and harder in terms of her forerib, her upper rib, her width of chest, and I'd like to just open her up comparative to those, spread her apart a bit as she comes and goes square up through her hock. I think her balance and her design and her eye appeal right out of her front end is what separates her here from the real big body broody one that comes four in class. I love the cage and the shape of this one. You get right on top. Boy, we've got to open that one up and progressively widen her to the back. I want to change her in her front structure as we set her in motion. Her neck set's low. She's a little more up and down in terms of her leg work. Want to make her balance a little better from the side. Congratulate those kids.
So our white-faced commercial ewes, our champion goes to Bo Earhart from Augusta County. He's also our Virginia bred champion. Our reserve champion is Samantha Wills from Fluvanna. And our third overall champion is Brooke Sign from Shenandoah, which will be the Virginia bred reserve champion. In now are our white-faced cross commercial ewes. We have Roxana Horn from Augusta, Colton Spangler of Floyd, Parker Baker of Clark, Grayson Long of Rockingham, Quinn Roush of Frederick, John Earhart from Augusta, and Mason Beamer from Rockingham. These ewes range from 90 to 151 pounds.
Well, a great place to land in this particular class, and one that I think is just exceptional in terms of her build and her flexibility and her balance. One also that certainly doesn't disappoint you from a width and shape and body type in cage status. Boy, that one is exceptionally high end out here, and I think pretty dominant here as a class winner. If you're going to change her a bit for me, I'd like to lengthen her right out of her hip ever so slightly. I think if we do that, it just adds to her exceptionalism and her elite look that she has here within this grouping. The one that comes two in class, a big caged, wide, practical kind of sheep, got the right kind of shape and upper hip and pin set. One that could be denser down low at the surface. For me, I think she beats the one behind her because she is better in terms of her hock placement, just a bit more proportional. I think her length of spine and her elevation fit together just a bit better from a symmetry standpoint. I like the quality. I like the touch. I like the natural width in that one. Boy, a big cage, long-bodied one comes third in class. She too needs to be denser and stouter down low. I want to change her hock placement as she moves around the ring. She's useful and practical from the side. Just want to change it, make it a notch more pleasing to the eye. Definitely want to stouten her down low, but that one is wide. That one is good-bodied. That one's long spine and flexible. Young man comes with the next one here in class, and that one's got incredible shape up top. I like that sheep. When you get right on the top of her, set her in motion. She's not as good in terms of her shoulder angle. Neck comes out a notch low, knees come forward, drags her hocks just a bit. I think she's fresher. When you look at her skin and touch her, she's fresher back. She's just more attractive and smoother designed right down her top line. The one that comes five, flexible kind of a sheep, one that has some quality in terms of body type and cage. That one needs to be freshened up for me, just as we look at her from the side, get on top of her, like to freshen her loin edge, like to change her ever so slightly at the end of her dock. Nice stock out here. Congratulate the young people.
For our white-faced cross U division, our champion goes to Mason Beamer from Rockingham, which is our Virginia bred champion. Our reserve champion white-face goes to Quinn Roush. And third overall white-faced cross is John Earhart from Augusta with the Virginia bred reserve. We're now starting in our lightweight division of black-face ewes. In our first lightweight class, we have Susanna Paris of Pittsylvania, Sawyer Wilkins of Rockingham, Cameron Grant from Caroline, Olivia Chisholm from Bedford, Leslie Linton from Stafford, Brant Kibler from Shenandoah, Jasper Sponagle from Highland, Addison Newland from Augusta, Emily Hammer, Nathan Paris from Pittsylvania, and Whitney Norman from Fauquier. These lambs range in weight from 90 to 108 pounds.
Well, I'll be the first to tell you lots of differences in types and kinds out here, and the one that leads off is easily my favorite in terms of balance and sheer width and squareness. Look from the side and still enough agility. I think we've got a real issue just in this particular set with where their feet and legs are, their structure, their ability to go. Um, and really, this one just lines up here at the front. I think she's arguably the best in terms of her structure. She is the best in terms of her balance and her width, her progression of width up top, and still a feminine kind of a female, good in terms of her body. I like this 1 and 2 just on the move. I think as we brace her and over brace her here and overdrive her, she gets out in terms of her loin where we sit. But you get that one on the move out here. She's big bodied, she's fresh, she's got some width, and she's got more flexibility out of her rear skeleton than the one that comes next. She's more dimensional in her forerib and cage. For me, she's just better and more practical in terms of her upper hip and where her hock sets, how she moves whenever we set her in motion. Blue one comes 3 in class, the wildest looking one of the group. One for me that's a little challenged just in terms of where her knee sets and her hock's a little more rigid. She's extremely lean and skinny, still good in terms of her body shape. One that's got some width in relation to her composition out here. One that's incredible looking. Just want to make her move a bit better. I like her right there just in terms of her underline and flank line compared to 4. Real stout footed one here. One that's got some shape up high. Big in terms of her pin set. Get on the side. She gets deeper in terms of chest, tighter up here into her flank. One that I definitely want to change just as we set that one in motion. Similar story here with the blue sheep that comes 5 in this particular class. Nice body shape behind her shoulder. Doesn't progressively widen. As we get back, we want to get a little narrower in our loin. You can see she's up in her shoulder and knee. Big-footed kind of a sheep. Just have to make that one balance up a bit better, make her move just a notch better. We've got some good quality back over here on this side. Things I want to change about each and every one of them. Little rounder hip, little marginal size, a little flatter in terms of cage. One that's got a good underline in her, just gets too frail out here comparatively. One that has big rack shape but gets flat through and through. We got to stouten that one on the end up. Put your hands together for these young people.
For our first class of blackface ewes in this lightweight division, first place goes to Brant Kibler of Shenandoah. Second place, Addison Newland of Augusta. Third, Sawyer Wilkins. Fourth, Whitney Norman. Fifth, Leslie Linton. Sixth, Emily Hammer. Seventh, Cameron Grant. Eighth, Olivia Chisholm. Ninth, Nathan Paris. 10th, Jasper Spunogle. And 11th, Susanna Paris. Next up is our second class of lightweight blackface ewes. We have Connor Spangler of Floyd, Ella Miller of Wythe, Casey Redifer of Grayson, Carly Gallahan from Orange, Addison Newland of Augusta, Torin Jones from Clark, Chloe Wilson, Appomattox, Abigail Miller of Wythe, Emily Hammer, and Bo Earhart of Augusta. These ewes range in weight from 109 to 116.
Well, difficult class to sort. Be real honest with you, there are not many of them, in my opinion, flexible enough out here. And the ones that are flexible, I think, give up some in terms of balance, maybe some in terms of hip and pin set. And I'll tell you what I see. The one up front is uniquely the stout one that has the right kind of cage, still good in her top and her underline. One that's knee sets back into her. As you get in behind that one, boy, she's really stout out of her pin set. She's good in her stifle. She's exceptionally square, and I think her flexibility just sorts her here at the front in combination with her balance and symmetry. The one that comes into probably the broodiest of the top trio, just in terms of quality of cage and underline and flexibility out of her rear two. She's not as stout as the one that comes in three, not as shallow up front as the one in three, but without question, sounder out of her shoulder angle, better in terms of her flexibility, her movement, her hock angle. The one that sets in three, extremely shallow up front, big time shape up top. For me, just gets a little more up and down in terms of where that thing goes. Wants to pull her neck down the whole time. We don't get her shoulder angle back into her, but I think the balance in that one, the freshness up top, the progression of width as we come to the back is certainly better than the one in four. This one gets a little deeper chested. Doesn't have as much dimension. Last rib back to her hip and pin set. Step in behind that one. She gets a little more average, just stifle to stifle. Balance from the side in terms of underlying quality has to be a bit better. The one that comes fifth in class, a little neater looking up front than the one in four. For me, boy, we got to stouten her up, drop her in terms of her depth of twist, tie her leg lower into her body, give her more genuine shape, cage, and sheer width as she moves away. Good stock over here as well. A really neat one here just in terms of her build and flexibility. Gets a little flatter and plainer, not as big hipped or pinned. Blue Sheep comes next. Got to have that one move a bit better. Need to change our underline. Young man there's got one that's got an incredible cage. Once again, a little frailer down low. Gets a little up and down in terms of structure and narrows up. Got a pair at the end, have to just get stouter. Put your hands together for these young people.
Results for your second lightweight class. First place goes to Abigail Miller. Second, Bo Earhart. Third, Ella Miller. Fourth, Emily Hammer. Fifth, Casey Redifer. Sixth, Chloe Wilson. Seventh, Addison Newland. Eighth, Torin Jones. Ninth, Carly Gallahan. And 10th, Connor Spangler. Our third class of lightweight blackface user in the ring, we have Roxana Horn from Augusta, Charity Osborne from Smith, Caitlin Mayberry of Campbell, Grayson Long from Rockingham, Braylon Jones of Clark, William Morris, King George, Susanna Paris, Pennsylvania, Casey Redifer from Grayson, Madison Vinskoski from Frederick, and Robert Ford from Warren. These ewes range in weight from 117 to 122.
Well, a good class here, and I think quality runs right here to the front, just particularly in the trio that comes up here. A pretty practical set of sheep, good in terms of their flexibility. Obviously, some differences, but the one by combination that I like the best, a young lady up front, she's got the one I think that balances the best and combines that with a density of bone work and a stouter look. Still feminine up front, very good in terms of her cage, exceptional in her shape and her freshness. I like the hip and pin set of this one that comes up front. I like her look a little better than the one in two. I like her added length of body and a bit of freshness to the one and two. And certainly I like her posture just on her rear two as we stop her and her actual width comparative to the one and three. This one could move her hock just a little bit better. We do that. I like her that much more, but a real nice one. One that comes into huge bodied kind of a sheep, very dense down low. One that's tall shouldered, good looking, a little shorter hind saddled than where we need to be. One that I'd like to lengthen and extend there and freshen in her flank. Comparative to our class winner, she's a little deeper right there where her chest hits in between her shoulders, but that is a nice one. She's really good in terms of body type. She's got more power. She's got more width. She's got more foot size comparative to the one in three. I like this sheep from a genuine flexibility standpoint. I like her length of spine better than the one in two. That one gets a little narrower coming and going. Her hock posture is just a little different. We have to stouten that one up to move her up with that pair. One that comes next in class gets a little plainer in terms of look, but exceptionally fresh bodied. One that as you get right in behind, we want to square her to her hock, want to tuck her up in her breastplate and make her neck come out just a bit taller. Big racked one here that's really good right behind her blade. You can see her loin edge. That's what it does when you get over the top of it. Wants to fade last rib back to hip. Want to change her in terms of her underline just from a quality look standpoint. If we could soften her center and flank and freshen her up top, that one gets to move up as well. Good stock out here. Young man's got one with a big cage. Gets a little frail down low. The next one gets just a little weird in how we handle our hock and a little flatter bodied. The one down there is just a little plain in terms of look. We have to have more sheep when we get down to the last two. Let's congratulate those kids.
Results for your third class of lightweight blackface ewes. First place goes to Charity Osborne. Second to Caitlin Mayberry. Third, Casey Redifer. Fourth, Robert Ford. Fifth, Grayson Long. Sixth, Braylon Jones. Seventh, Madison Vinskoski. Eighth, Roxana Horn. Ninth, Susanna Paris. And 10th, William Morris. Our fourth and final class of lightweight blackface ewes is in the ring. We have Carly Howdyshell from Augusta, Landon Kibler from Shenandoah, Kenzie Dellinger from Rockingham, Chloe Wilson from Appomattox, Bradley Cron from Augusta, Sedona Sifford from Fauquier, Connor Spangler from Floyd, John Earhart from Augusta, Sadie Ann Osborne from Smith, and Torin Jones from Clark. These ewes range in weight from 123 to 124. As a reminder, we need first, second, and third places in our lightweight division classes back for the drive. That is first, second, and third places, please. Please check in. This weekend's shows here at the State Fair of Virginia would not be possible without our sponsors. The State Fair of Virginia supports our shows by providing this venue, covering our judges' expenses, and paying out over $35,000 in cash premiums and $28,500 in earned scholarships for our exhibitors. First Bank and Trust has provided an exhibitor T-shirt for each of our exhibitors. This year's T-shirt has been created in memory of our friend, colleague, and longtime State Fair of Virginia supporter, Casey Daniel. Farm Credit of the Virginias is providing water for our exhibitors and staff for the week. Our general sponsors for all of our shows include Craig County Farm Bureau and Washington County Farm Bureau. Sheep-specific sponsors include LT Hart Incorporated, Freedom Ag and Energy Cooperative, Powell Valley National Bank, Campbell County Farm Bureau, Farmers and Merchants Bank, First Bank and Trust, First Community Bank, Brookwood Farms, May Valley Club Lambs, Liberty Club Lambs, Umbarger Feeds, Wanda Ziegler, Blue Ridge Animal Clinic, Foster Foundation, Jamar Farm Feed and Seed, Hubbard Feeds, Rockbridge Cooperative, Burke Simmons, Ridgeview Contractors, Chris Sumner, Rockingham Petroleum, JBH Show Lambs, Skyline National Bank, Abingdon Equipment, NTD Trucking, Buchanan Oil, Griner Sisters, Heritage Farm Supply, Rockingham Cooperative, Beatty Club Lambs, Mountain View Farm Club Lambs, Dominion Wood Preservers, and Bagoon Farm.
Well, a good class here, and the Silver Sheep that leads off is the one I think just suits me the best, combining width and balance from the side. Not perfect in structure, but none of them are, but really good in terms of our hock placement. Incredible cage and shape and progression of width. Still runs up into his chest from the center of her body. Good and fresh in terms of her top and underline. I think by combination, she's the one that fits me the best. The one that comes two in class, really good looking from the side, shallow up front, big feet and legs, long and level in terms of her top line. Just a little flatter in her cage, and where we see our class winner, one that doesn't have the added shot of dimension from a width and pin set dimension back here through our leg standpoint, but high quality stock there. Another real neat one. Stout one comes three in class, but you can see her here where she stands. She's deeper in her chest. She's a little forward in her knee, wants to round out of her hip as we set her in motion. I like her added shot of natural width and stoutness and cage comparative to the one that comes in four. Good one in four from a balance standpoint. If you read top line, that one's got some quality, flexible kind of a sheep. I like that. Get directly in front of this one. She's the narrowest. She's the smallest forearmed of the top four that come ahead in class. She gives up a little bit of power, but has a real quality look. Round out the top five with one that is exceptionally massive. I love the cage. I love the shape. I love the muscularity of this one. Doesn't move well enough. Runs downhill. Gets out in terms of our shoulder angle. Neck sets a bit low. Put your hands together for all these young people.
Our final class of lightweight blackface ewes, first place goes to Chloe Wilson, second, Bradley Cron, third, Sedona Sifford, fourth, Landon Kibler, fifth, John Earhart, sixth, Sadie Ann Osborne, seventh, Torrin Jones, eighth, Cardi Howdyshell, ninth, Connor Spangler, and 10th, Kenzie Dellinger. We'll now have our lightweight drive. First place from Class 1, Brent Kibler. First place from Class 2, Abigail Miller. First place from Class 3, Charity Osborne. First place from Class 4, Chloe Wilson. Second place from Class 1, Addison Newland. Second place Class 2, Bo Earhart. Second place Class 3, Caitlin Mayberry. Second place Class 4, Bradley Cron. Third place Class 1, Sawyer Wilkins. Third place Class 2, Ella Miller. Third place Class 3, Casey Redifer. And third place Class 4, Sedona Sifford. Middleweight Class 1, please check in. Middleweight blackface ewes Class 1, please check in.
We'll put your hands together for these young people that come back out in your division drive. A good set of livestock here. I think we, in my opinion, sorted the better ones here just to the front. And I think we're trying to, I like to build them low and make them flexible as we can. Like I said, maybe nothing is exactly the way I'd like to see it just from a flexibility standpoint or a balance standpoint in the world of livestock. But this is a really nice set up front. Proud to have them up here. Good balanced, practical, the kind that have something to them and some substance, both of foot, of rib cage, of mass, and try to make that all fit together. And I think that's what we see through these particular divisions. We just got a high quality set here, and they progress in terms of quality. We've got good ones all the way to the back row. For me, I think it snugs up just a bit here where you want to be in terms of emphasizing look and balance and heaviness of structure and combining that with femininity, look and the right kind of cage. I like them to be big pinned and good ribbed. I like them to be practical and useful enough in terms of feet and leg structure. Once again, congratulate them. I'll show you. We're going to get 3 out of this particular division. I'll show you the ones I like.
Your champion for lightweight division is going to come out of that Class 3, exhibited by Charity Osborne. That's also the Virginia bred champion. Your reserve is going to come out of the Class 4, exhibited by Chloe Wilson, which will be your Virginia bred reserve. Third overall is going to come out of that Class 4, second place, exhibited by Bradley Cron. Starting off our middleweight division, blackface U's, we have Elizabeth Sheets from Augusta, Olivia Chisholm from Bedford, Olivia Fisher from Shenandoah, Michael Dudding from Craig, Ava Jenkins Hittinger of Madison, Casey Redifer of Grayson, Samantha Wills of Fluvanna, Whitley Kopp of Washington, Liam Morris from Augusta, Reagan Loker of Clark, Carly Buchanan from Augusta, and Braylon Jones from Clark. These U's range in weight from 125 to 128. We want to thank our judge for this weekend's sheep shows, Mr. Glenn Martin of Mason, Texas. Glenn grew up in Mason where his family roots date back to the 1860s. He attended Texas A&M University and was an accomplished collegiate meats and livestock evaluator. Glenn is married to Ray Ann and they've raised 4 daughters through the ranching lifestyle. The Martin family raises competitive show goats, cattle, and Dorper sheep. Glenn has evaluated both breeding and market shows in 30 states, including numerous state fairs and various shows at the National Western, Fort Worth, Houston, Louisville, and the American Royal. He spends countless hours helping youth excel in the livestock world through clinics, seminars, and his Bracing for Success camps. Glenn is always promoting agriculture and educating others about the animal industry. Again, let's give a nice Virginia warm welcome to our judge, Mr. Glenn Martin.
Well, a very, very deep class out here, and boy, we've got some really good quality sheep all the way down this particular grouping. The one I land on is the best bodied, the one that suits me the best, just from a balance standpoint. And talk about width and stoutness down low, and cage and freshness. That one's got all that working for. Not exactly perfect in terms of hock placement. I like the hock in the 1 and 2 just a bit better, but I like the sheer width and squareness and elevation in our lower chest up front of our class winner. The one that comes into, boy, that one can motor around the ring. Very, very good balance sheep. Fresh right there over a rack. Needs to be a little fresher loin for me comparative to our class winner. We need to have that one pulled apart right up front. I do like the structural integrity out of our shoulder and knee better than the 1 in 3. One that comes in 3, extremely smooth top, fresh back, big pin, really square coming and going. Wants to get a little east and west up front. Gets a little longer in terms of our shoulder compared to both of them on each side of her. I just want to tuck her up there in her chest, push her chine bone down, lay her shoulder blade back into her a bit. Crazy bodied, big muscled one comes next in class. The roundest out of the way she's built, just from a muscularity standpoint. Crazy shape, awesome in her lower forerib. She wants to lean out too far over her knees for me. She's a little more rigid in her hock placement, but I love the body type, the balance from the side. It's when we move that one that I just want to change her up a bit. If she's a little more flexible, in my opinion, she goes right up there to the front. The one that comes next in class, a really stout-footed female, a big, bold cage, big pin, big racked. We've got to change her back leg posture just a bit, strengthen her there in her pastern, correct her just in her hock angle, but that's a really nice one. I'm going to talk about this one too. This one suits me extremely good just from a femininity standpoint. Gets a little narrower pin, a little flatter legged, a little flatter caged comparative to those that come out front, but that's extremely high quality. We got good ones all the way down. If you got one over here, you got a nice sheep. We just have to have things fixed or changed here and there. I talked to each one. Put your hands together for them.
For our middleweight first class, first place goes to Carly Buchanan. Second, Samantha Wills. Third, Ava Jenkins Hittinger. Fourth, Olivia Fisher. Fifth, Leah Morris. Sixth, Michael Dudding. Seventh, Reagan Loker. Eighth, Casey Redifer. Ninth, Elizabeth Sheets. 10th, Whitley Kopp. 11th, Braylon Jones. And 12th, Olivia Chisholm. Now for our middleweight second class for blackface ewes, we have Colton Thornton from Augusta, Nathan Paris from Pennsylvania, Logan Cassiano from Loudon, Abigail Miller from Wythe, Lilia Foltz from Page, Avery Chisholm from Bedford, Clue Spunogle from Highland, Clara Elsey of Russell, and Diesel Hitt from Orange. Class 3 middleweights, please check in. Class 3 middleweights, please check in. Caroline Babb, please check in. Caroline Babb, please check in.
Well, I think natural selection here just sorts this pair to the front, and they're the best ones coming in, the highest quality sheep. And for me, I think there's just a pretty significant natural break between that pair and the other sheep here. I opt to use the one that's the bigger footed, the bolder in terms of her body, the bigger in terms of her chest, square kneed, shot more flexible in terms of shoulder angle and knee up front. Not the longest bodied, and definitely for me, I'd say we need to lean that one up just a little bit in relation to her framework and maturity pattern, but a very nice one, very dense, very stout, good bodied, and still flexible. The one that comes into longer bodied option, leaner option here, get on the side or the 3/4, want to tuck that one's chest up into her just a bit, want to change her knee angle in her set where she comes right here just forward into her skeleton a little. I want to set her knee back, want to tuck her up in her chest plate. When we get her out here and brace her, she gets a little rougher looking, and part of that is that she's leaner, but that thing has a good loin, good touch, good spread, big pin set, lots of quality there in that top pair. Opt to use the denser one, bigger bodied one, and the one that's square right there coming out the gate. The one that comes 3 in class, that one deserves to be here just in terms of body type and levelness and length of hip and hind saddle, big footed kind of a female, not near as much to her as those that come out in front of her, not as much to her from a muscularity or cage standpoint as the one behind her, but this one is sounder, more functional in terms of where her feet and legs hit the surface. The one that comes 4 in class, I love the shape in this sheep. I think she's exceptionally good in terms of a cylindrical cage. Here's one that rounds out of her dock, doesn't handle her back leg as good as we need to see. When we get on the side, we just want to see her balance up in her center body and flank a bit better from an underlying quality standpoint. One that comes 5 in class, level top kind of a sheep, gets a little more up in terms of shoulder angle and knee, but one that's pretty feminine up front, got the right kind of center, got the right kind of body and underline into her. Just need to make her sounder, stouter down low and widen her out comparatively. Nice sheep over here. Talk to each one of them. Put your hands together for all these kids.
Results for your second class of middleweight blackface ewes. First place goes to Logan Cassiano. Second, Clara Elsey. Third, Colton Thornton. Fourth, Abigail Miller. Fifth, Clue Sponagle. Sixth, Avery Chisholm. Seventh, Nathan Paris. Eighth, Lilia Foltz. And ninth, Diesel Hit. Our third class of middleweight blackface ewes are in the ring. We have Daniel James of Madison, Michael Dudding of Craig, Emma Wisecarver of Frederick, Caroline Babb of Virginia Beach, Samantha Wills from Fluvanna, Mackenzie Baldwin from Culpeper, and Robert Ford from Warren. These ewes weigh 133 to 137. We would like to thank all of our show staff and volunteers for this weekend. Clerking today's show is Cynthia Hurst, VCE Program Assistant for Pulaski County 4-H. Lining up the classes is our State Fair of Virginia Youth Meat Goat Superintendent Emily Edwards, 4-H agent from Augusta County. In the ring, we have Dr. Scott Greiner, Extension Beef and Sheep Specialist from Virginia Tech. We've had Philip McCroskey, Ag Educator and FFA Advisor from Abingdon High School with us. Chris Gibson was State Fair of Virginia Youth Livestock Advisory Council member. Matthew Sponagle from VDAX, Daniel Campbell, and Emily Taylor. Also, special thanks to Natalie Blevins and Marnie Caldwell, Youth Livestock Advisory Council members, for securing sponsorships and awards for the sheep shows. And again, our official photographer for the weekend is Mandy Rooker Photography. You can access those pictures at mandyrooker.smugmug.com.
Well, this is a very good class, and we do have genuine quality all the way down. These sheep standing behind me here have use. They've got purpose. I think you have to decide where your priorities lie here. The three and the trio that's sorted up to the front are the ones that still have some width and density at the surface. They've got width in their lower skeleton. They're good in terms of their cage. They're all three exceptionally shapely. The one I choose to lead off with, I think, is the one that puts density, width, shape, freshness, altogether the best and a more practical package. Her back leg is better. It's better in terms of how she drives her hock behind her. It's squarer than the 1 and 2. For me, she's certainly bigger in type and kind and outline and leaner, more flexible than the 1 and 3. Is she perfect? No. Her neck comes out a bit low. Her shoulders up just a little bit from where we need it, but that one's got a great body type and shape to her. She's wide. She's square going away. That one's high quality. The 1 and 2 is a more feminine option, if you will. She's exceptionally lean, good in her cage, long in terms of her hip and hind saddle, more elevated at the base of her chest and taller shouldered, more flexible just in terms of reach and athleticism than the one that comes in 3. She overreaches a little bit in back. She doesn't have as much in the seat of her pants, but I like her ability to go, her agility a bit better. I definitely like her leanness and her elevation a bit better than 3. Incredible density here in the one that comes in 3. Gets a little more moderate in terms of our framework and outline. I want to lengthen that one out of her cannon bone. I want to extend her up top. I want to make her just a shot more flexible at both ends of her skeleton. Big, neat looking one here comes next in class. Genuine in terms of body shape, big loin edge, big hip, big feet and feature in this one. Have to balance that one up a bit better and put a notch more true cage and width coming right to you. Young man's got one that's really fresh right there across the rack. Flattens out in terms of, planes out in terms of loin edge. One that's not as good and genuine in her underline or her width comparative, set her in motion. She wants to roll just a bit. Boy, big backed one here that's wool pick the young man has. That one's got to move a bit better in front. We got to have more body shape in that one. Have to drop her in terms of just where her center is. Round out the class with an awesome bodied one that's got a ton of shape here. Big hip and pin set. Just gets plainer looking from the side. Runs out of steam in terms of foot size down low. Congratulate these young people.
Results for your third middleweight class, Blackface Ewes. First place goes to Emma Wisecarver. Second, Samantha Wills. Third, Mackenzie Baldwin. Fourth, Robert Ford. Fifth, Leighton Dudding. Sixth, Daniel James. And seventh, Caroline Babb. Our fourth and final middleweight division class for Blackface Ewes. Class 4 middleweight Blackface Ewes. We have Scarlett Beasley of Caroline, Emma Wood of Page, Reagan Babb, Virginia Beach, Carly Buchanan from Augusta, Jamison Rivard, Fauquier, Caroline Babb, Virginia Beach, Ava Hintinger from Madison, Brant Killer from Shenandoah, Liam Morris, Augusta, London Vanderhyde, Pennsylvania, and Lily Bowman from Montgomery. After this class, we'll have the middleweight champion drive. So we need first, second, and third places from classes 1, 2, and 3 to check back in. Middleweight class 1, 2, and 3, check back in.
Well, a good class here, and I think a really nice set of sheep here at the front of the class. I'll have to use the blue sheep up front. The one for me, I think, maintains the right kind of look from the side as we set her in motion. Her elevation's exceptional. When we start that one off and just move her, she maintains that right kind of look in terms of elevation and chest placement. She's the smoothest in terms of her shoulder angle, shoulder blade, and the point to her shoulder. She's the best in terms of width up front, and then the shallowest there progressively widens. That thing's incredible cage, big, huge shape, big at the edge of her loin, and exceptionally flexible for one that has that kind of silhouette and symmetry. The one that comes to most like her in terms of smoothness, the top line, better in terms of forerib, cage, and width than the one that comes 3 in class. I like this one's cage. I like her underline. I like her expression of muscle and shape up high. I like her smoothness right down her top, just a bit better than the one in 3. And you get right in front of her, she comes a little wider there at the base of her chest, and one I think is just a little more genuine in terms of cage shape. Definitely smoother in the top line. One that comes 3 in class, elevated, neat looking kind of a sheep, flexible, practical. I like all of those things about her. Comparatively, I want to pull her apart in her upper forerib, want to smooth her up there at the edge of her loin, but that one is exceptionally good, and I think beats the one that comes behind her in terms of underlying quality, sheer touch and ability, pin set. Uh, Comparatively, I don't think it's close. This one that comes 4 in class just runs out of steam in this particular class from a rib cage and muscularity standpoint, high end in terms of her look, one that you appreciate from a quality standpoint. Just want to give that one a shot more, particularly last rib back to hip and pin set. Big caged one comes next in class, set him in motion, chest comes out, runs downhill. Love the cage, love the shape, love the pin set of this one. Have to reorganize her right out the front skeleton. This one's a better looking option, and that one has a bit issue in terms of sheer width. Breastbone comes out the front. Need to make that one a little denser bone. We just run out of steam, get a little plainer as we move down. Got a fat one there. Got one blue sheep that's just a little round, both ends of her skeleton. Congratulate these young people.
Results for your 4th and final class in the middleweight division. First place goes to Carly Buchanan. Second, Emma Wood. Third, Reagan Babb. Fourth, Ava Hintinger. Fifth, Brant Kibler. Sixth, Carolyn Babb. Seventh, Liam Morris. Eighth, London Vanderhyde. Ninth, Lily Bowman. 10th, Jamison Rivard. And 11th, Scarlett Beasley. We'll now bring back our 1st, 2nd, and 3rd places for our middleweight Blackface U division. For our middleweight champion drive. First place from Class 1, we have Carly Buchanan, Augusta County. First place Class 2, Logan Cassiano, Loudoun County. First place Class 3, Emma Wisecarver, Frederick County. First place Class 4, Carly Buchanan, Augusta County. Second place Class 1, Samantha Wills from Fluvanna. Second place Class 2, Clara Elsey from Russell. Second place Class 3, Samantha Wills. Second place Class 4, Emma Wood from Page. Third place Class 1, we have Ava Hintinger of Madison. Third place Class 2, Colton Thornton from Augusta. Third place Class 3, Mackenzie Baldwin of Culpeper. And third place Class 4, Reagan Babb from Virginia Beach. We need our heavyweight Class 1 to check in. Heavyweight Blackface U's Class 1, please check in.
Well, a very good division here of ULAMs that we have. Quality, in my opinion, all the way down throughout these classes. Commend you, young people, and those ringside helping families and ag agents. It's a good set. They get bigger and the knees, they get smaller knees, but where we sit here, just from a quality standpoint, I think is pretty exceptional. I like these kind of livestock in terms of movement and balance, proportion. I think there's just the right kind of stock here, the right kind you want to breed on for sure, and definitely quality look that we have in these particular classes. Talked them all in class, and I thought our class winners fit together well. Thought they moved well, and kind of the kind of a product that you get whenever you uh, put balance and substance and flexibility together. That's what we have. If you would put your hands together, we're going to get a trio out of this particular division. Congratulate these young people, and I'll go show you the ones I like best.
Your champion middleweight will come from that first class exhibited by Carly Buchanan. Your reserve is also coming out of that first class exhibited by Samantha Wills, which will be your Virginia bred champion. Third overall is coming out of class 2, exhibited by Logan Cassiano. And it is your reserve Virginia bred. We will now start our last division of the day, our heavyweight blackface ewes. In our first class, we have Maddie Evers from Augusta County, Kylie Blevins from Washington County, Rachel DeBoer from Madison County, Parker Baker from Clark County, Spencer Bear from Fauquier, Ashton Baldwin from Culpeper, Campbell Balserman from Nelson, and Olivia Fisher from Shenandoah. This first class of heavyweights are 143 and 144 pounds. Heavyweight class 2, please check in. Heavyweight class 2, please check in.
Well, we set these in motion. I think the one that surfaces leads off up here in the front. One that's balanced up exceptionally well, stands taller shouldered than the 1 and 2, better out of her front skeleton in terms of flexibility, functions just a bit better out of her hock, and I think just a bit more genuine in terms of cage. She's leaner, and I like that about her. Her neck comes out taller, her breastplate sets up in her a bit better. She's just one that, particularly when we set her in motion, I think she surfaces to the front of the class. The one that comes to his class, just exceptional in terms of topside shape, gets out and down in her chest just a little bit, tightens her flank line up just a little more. But in terms of width and body type and real shape, that one is exceptional. Gets a little shorter in terms of her hip and dock. That's part of her issue and where she sets her back leg. One that's a bit more functional out of her rear too comes 3 in class. She is a bit leaner, less genuine in terms of shape and body type and cage. Want to see a bigger forearm. Want to see that one a little more radical, just right out back of her shoulder. Want to see her balance up just a notch neater as well. The one that comes next in class, huge cage in this one, set her in motion. She gets her chest way down. Neck comes out a little bit lower than where we need it. Wants to come from a big old bold chest back into a flank line. Want to freshen her last rib back to hip. She rolls out the edge of her loin comparative to those that come up front. Big cool one comes next in class, and I know the young lady likes her, and I do too. I like her balance from the side in terms of her length of top line. I like her underline. And if that's all we did was judge them from here, I'll be real honest with you, that one could run right up toward the front of our class. As I stand behind that sheep, the progression of width is inverted. She's bigger and bolder up front, really good in terms of her chest floor, comes back to the narrowest hip and pin set, doesn't tie low enough, it's not as dimensional in terms of where her side shape hits above her hock for me. But good stock out here. Nice ones over here on this side. Have some substance. Need to balance a bit better. Let's congratulate these kids.
Our first heavyweight class, first place goes to Maddie Evers. Second, Kylie Blevins. Third, Olivia Fisher. Fourth, Ashton Baldwin. Fifth, Rachel DeBoer. Sixth, Parker Baker. Seventh, Campbell Bosserman. And eighth, Spencer Bear. Our second class of heavyweights, we have John Earhart from Augusta, Willa Price from Fauquier, Hannah Cyphers from Washington, London Vanderhyde of Pennsylvania, Ella Miller of Wythe, Luke Sumner of Franklin, Parker Baker of Clark, Elizabeth Sheets from Augusta, and Briar Swecker from Rockingham. These ewes range in weight from 145 to 149. Heavyweight class 3, please check in. Heavyweight class 3, please check in.
Well, I'm sure everybody found the one that wins the class here. It's pretty easy sort to find that particular sheep. She's not perfect right in her knee, and I'll tell you that. It sets forward just ever so slightly. But in terms of body type and balance, ability to function out of her hock and her rear two, her underline and top line quality, or shape, she's exceptional, exceptionally tall shouldered, very, very extended, very feminine. And as you get over the top of that one, boy, you have to love the cage, you have to love the shape and the freshness that we see in her. Want to set her knee back ever so slightly. To the world of sheep, we could be a notch shot bigger boned if you would, but that's a very, very good one here, leads off. The one that comes two in class, I like just from a flexibility and freshness standpoint. She's got a good touch and handle. Up top, she progressively widens as she comes back. Down low, I want to change her underline a bit. I think she's better in her lower chest floor. She's no doubt fresher right there down her top at the edge of her loin. Her skin texture's better than the one that comes in three. The one in three is extra stout. I like her density at the surface. She gets a little lower set in her neck and her chest floor. Doesn't have the freshness at the edge of her loin or the size at the edge of her loin compared to the pair that comes out front. But she's sounder. She's better in terms of use to her skeleton than the one that comes four in class. Uh, Genuinely think the best caged outside of our class winner, the biggest hipped, the best shape comes in four. Young man, we set that thing in motion. She's just upright in her shoulder and knee. She's tighter in her hock where she goes, drops her front end out. The little tip vulva ewe lamb's got a lot of quality to her in terms of body type, freshness up top. I just want her to move better when we get on the side. Young man here has the one in fifth, one of the more extended, wilder looking ones just from the side in terms of elevation and neck. There's not enough to her for me from a density standpoint, body type standpoint, what I'm referring to. I want to open that one up. I want to drop her in terms of her underline. I want to square her up and where she sets her knee and just pull her wider end to end. One that comes next in class, boy, big backed one, have to rearrange her just in terms of back leg placement and pin set. We've got a trio down here that have to balance up a bit better comparatively. Congratulate these young people.
For your second class of heavyweights, first place goes to Hannah Cyphers, second, Ella Miller, third, London Vanderhyde, fourth, John Earhart, fifth, Briar Swecker, sixth, Willa Price, seventh, Parker Baker, eighth, Elizabeth Sheets, and ninth to Luke Sumner. Our third class of heavyweights, we have Chloe Ayler of Madison, Jamison Rivard of Fauquier, Olivia Fisher of Shenandoah, Colton Spangler of Floyd, Madison Strassnyder of Frederick, Colt Bear of Fauquier, John Hale of Hanover, Reagan Babb, Virginia Beach, Carly Howdyshell of Augusta, and Jackson Kelly from Clark. These ewes weigh 150 to 157. Final class, heavyweights class 4, please check in. Heavyweights class 4, please check in.
Well, the trio that comes up front, I think, are more feminine, just a bit more elevated. The kind for me that are a little more youthful in terms of their look through their shoulder and their front end. And this one that leads off, that's a powerhouse. Wide up in her chest, progressively widens, touches impeccably good. Very good just in terms of composition, relation to frame, body weight, extension. I like the balance in that sheep. I really like that sheep when we get her on a move in terms of where she keeps her top line. Her flexibility is just exceptional. To get picky, she overdrives just a little bit, and when we do that, we get a little rough right there just to where our loin hooks up to our dock, to our upper hip, but that is a very, very nice sheep. She's got more to her from a width and mass standpoint than the 1 and 2. She just comes wider, bolder in her center, bigger in terms of her depth of leg and her pin set. I like that about that sheep. This one that comes in 2 is exceptionally feminine, moves better than the 1 and 3, smoother jointed, smoother shouldered than the 1 and 3, not as radical in terms of shape, better where we blend our loin back from our last rib to our hip just in terms of progression of width. I like that about her. She comes smoother right out the front of her shoulder. You can see where that sets. She's smoother at the point of her shoulder, just a little more unique and dynamic looking. Now the extra wide one comes next, and I like that about that sheep. She looks like she could be a generator to me. She's rounder in her lower shoulder. She's rounder right here just in terms of shape, but she's also rounder at the edge of her loin. I want to just freshen her loin up, make it flatter, make it wider, make it deeper to make all that fit together a bit better. She doesn't have quite the flexibility we see in the pair up top, but that is a very, very good one. One exceptional animal here that comes 3 in class. Awesome ribbed one that comes next in class. Love the freshness of shape. Thought that one rounded a bit at her skeleton, both ends. Dries up just a notch more in terms of her flank line compared to those that come out in front. Big power sheep that's got an incredible rib cage, and turn to her rib comes next in class. Set that one in motion, and of the top 5, without question, the most upright in her shoulder and knee, the tightest in terms of our hock. We reach forward with it. We don't drive it back behind us where we need it. That's a lot of good stock piled up in one class. Every one of you has a good one here. I'm proud of you. Put your hands together for all these kiddos.
In our third class of heavyweights, first place goes to Reagan Babb. Second place, Olivia Fisher. Third, Jackson Kelly. Fourth, Madison Strassnyder. Fifth, Chloe Ayler. Sixth, Jamison Rivard. Seventh, Carly Howdyshell. Eighth, Colt Bear. Ninth, Colton Spangler. And 10th, John Hale. Our fourth and final class of blackface ewes and our last class of ewes for the day. If you are our champion, reserve, or third overall lightweight or medium weight ewe, please make your way back to check in for the final drive. That's lightweight and medium weight, champion, reserve, and third overall. Please check back in. In our fourth and final class, we have Brooklyn Bagoon of Augusta, Ty McDaniel from Giles, Reagan Babb from Virginia Beach, Kenley Ayler of Madison, Jamison Rivard of Fauquier, Abigail James from Madison, Caitlin James from Madison with 2 entries, Colt Bear from Fauquier, and Ty McDaniel from Giles. These ewes range in weight from 158 to 178.
Well, a nice class and a good way to round out our U show in this particular class. We've got some quality. Mass isn't really a problem in terms of topside shape with any of these sheep here in these top five. Just some differences in where they land from a maturity standpoint. I like the body. I like the freshness. I like the handling quality, and it's a maturity game here. She's leaner. She's more unique in terms of her look. She's the best one in terms of her length of spine. Compared from a balance and symmetry standpoint with her elevation, I think it's just logical to get that real high quality feminine sheep right here at the front. She's better in her lower chest, smoother bladed, taller shouldered, longer hipped and hind saddle than the 1 and 2. 1 and 2 for me gets just a little upright in her shoulder angle, not as smooth right down her top where she blends her loin edge back into her hip. We could extend her out of her dock just a little bit, get right in front of her. We could square her up in her knee placement just a bit as well. That one is leaner and higher quality in her underlining look coming up into her chest than the one that comes 3 in class. 3 is more powerful, and I appreciate that about this particular sheep. Love the cylindrical cage, the big body in her, if you will. Albeit the fact it's got too much cover and she's a little more mature. She leans out over her knee a little further than these other 2 in front. She wants to get a little lower set in her neck. She's a little more marginal in terms of framework up front. But boy, I tell you, power, power, power. That one's got lots of quality to her. I just want to reconstruct her a bit up through her front end. Taller shouldered option comes next in class. One for me that I had bouncing around here in our top 4. I want to change her flank and underline a bit. Her neck comes out a little low. I just want to make her a bit more dynamic in terms of her look. I like her better than the one behind her for exactly those reasons. I think she's wider, stouter, square, bolder in terms of her rib cage. Young lady has one here that's pretty practical. Reality is doesn't balance up well enough compared to those that come up front of her. We've got some other nice high quality sheep here, just either not enough to them, wedges, hooks to pins, back feet placement ain't quite as good, narrows up going away, a little plainer looking, more upright in our knee, and 2 that have to balance up better. Congratulate them if you will.
Results for your last heavyweight class. First place goes to Reagan Babb. Second place goes to Caitlin James. Third, Kinley Ayler. Fourth, Brooklyn Bagoon. Fifth, Abigail James. Sixth, Jamison Rivard. Seventh, Caitlin James. Eighth, Colt Bear. Ninth, Ty McDaniel. And 10th, Ty McDaniel. We're now going to bring in our first, second, and thirds for the heavyweight division for our heavyweight blackface commercial U champion drive. And same as lightweight and middleweight, we will pick a Virginia bred champion and a Virginia bred reserve. For our heavyweight drive, first place Class 1, Maddie Evers, Augusta County. First place Class 2, Hannah Cyphers, Washington County. First place Class 3, Reagan Babb, Virginia Beach. And first place Class 4, Reagan Babb. Second place Class 1, Kylie Blevins, Washington County. Second place Class 2, Ella Miller, Wythe County. Second place Class 3, Olivia Fisher, Shenandoah. Second place Class 4, Caitlin James, Madison County. Third place Class 1, Olivia Fisher, Shenandoah. Third place Class 2, London Vanderhyde, Pennsylvania. Third place Class 3, Jackson Kelly of Clark. Third place Class 4, Kinley Ayler of Madison. Our lightweight and middleweight champion reserve and third overall should be in the ready area. Lightweight, middleweight. We also need our champion whiteface reserve, grand and third overall, and our champion and reserve and third overall whiteface cross. Please make your way back here to the ready area for our overall drive. That's whiteface champion reserve and third, whiteface cross champion reserve and third, and our light and middleweight divisions for blackface.
Well, a very good division here. Congratulate the young people that come back out of the respective classes. Put your hands together for them if you would. You know, they get bigger, they get more mature, and they're supposed to, but we've still got a very good set stock that come to us in a fresh look and package. Many of them exceptionally show ring ready, and I think we've done a very good job as feeders getting these things kind of to the point they need to be, just where you like to see them. You know, when they get a little over the hill, a little more mature, without question, it becomes a management game as to how you can make them look, and if they blend together right, and if they're still youthful enough to make a presence in the show ring, and still have the right kind of width and touch and shape that we want to see. I like the balance of traits. I like to put the good with in compositionally correct packages, and I think that's what we have here. Talked all these in class. We've got good stock out here. There were several of them that hit me harder than the rest. Once again, congratulate the young people. That's what we're doing this for. I'll show you the ones I like best.
Your champion heavyweight comes out of Class 2, exhibited by Hannah Cyphers. Your reserve comes out of Class 3, exhibited by Reagan Babb. Your third overall comes from Class 3, exhibited by Olivia Fisher, which will be your Virginia bred champion. Your reserve Virginia bred heavyweight came out of Class 1, exhibited by Rachel DeBoer. We're now going to set up for our grand champion drive for our commercial ewes today. While we do that, we want to highlight our judge one more time for the day, Mr. Glenn Martin out of Mason, Texas. Glenn grew up in Mason, where his family roots date back to the 1860s. He's attended Texas A&M University and was an accomplished collegiate meats and livestock evaluator. Glenn is married to Ray Ann, and they've raised 4 daughters through the ranching lifestyle. The Martin family raises competitive show goats, cattle, and Dorper sheep. Glenn has evaluated both breeding and market shows in 30 states, including numerous state fairs, various shows at the National, Western, Fort Worth, Houston, Louisville, and the American Royal. He spends countless hours helping youth excel in the livestock world through clinics, seminars, and his Bracing for Success camps. Glenn's always into promoting agriculture and educating others about the industry. So let's give him one last round of applause, Mr. Glenn Martin, for judging our sheep shows this weekend. From our champion whiteface commercial ewe, we have Bo Earhart from Augusta County. Our champion whiteface cross, Mason Beamer from Rockingham County. Our champion lightweight blackface commercial ewe, Charity Osborne. Our middleweight blackface champion is Carly Buchanan from Augusta County. And our heavyweight is Hannah Cyphers from Washington County. Overall reserve for our whiteface is Samantha Wills from Fluvanna County. Our champion whiteface cross is Quinn Roush from Frederick. Our lightweight champion or reserve is Chloe Wilson from Appomattox, and our reserve from our middleweight is Samantha Wills from Fluvanna. Our heavyweight reserve is Reagan Babb from Virginia Beach, and our third overall from our whiteface is Brooke Sign from Shenandoah. Our third overall from whiteface cross is John Earhart from Augusta County. Lightweight third overall is Bradley Cron from Augusta County. Middleweight third overall is Logan Cassiano from Loudon, and our third overall heavyweight is Olivia Fisher from Shenandoah County.
Well, first of all, let me say thank you for the opportunity to judge again here in Virginia at your state fair, work with your young people and evaluate your livestock. I appreciate that opportunity. I enjoy it. It's something that I don't take lightly, and I want you to know that it's extremely near and dear to my heart to evaluate stock, but more importantly, to work with you young people. Got a really good set of livestock here, but a great set of young people in this state. I commend you for how you're raising them. I commend you for how you're growing them up, and we're using sheep to do that in this particular ring. I want to say thank you to Dr. Greiner, to everybody up front, and all of my ring help over 3 days that have helped me to manage the show, manage the ring. You can't do it without them. I was talking this morning. You know, the quality of the ring that we have, it's easy to walk in, it's easy to work in, the lambs don't slip, the kids don't stumble around, and it's not dusty. And he said, well, I watered it for hours to get the base of this thing where it be effective here, and I certainly appreciate all those things. There's lots of stuff we take for granted to get to come to a show up, pop your stuff up, go show your sheep, and then head home, and you don't realize what was put into it. But there's a tremendous amount that goes into where we're at and what we're doing. And I just want to say thank you to all of them. If you're ringside, you appreciate what these not just volunteers and folks helping, but what the sponsors have done to help your kiddos out. Let's put our hands together for them, if you would. We're here for these young people, and that's what we're doing. We're raising young people with livestock, and it's an awesome way to do it outside of church, outside of a relationship with our God, with our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. There's no better way or place to raise these young people. As I often say, our future's in front of us. And we better hope that the kids we brought up that grew up through this program are the future of our country, because if they are, they'll have a very good foundation to move forward. We're not all here for forever. We're just here for a brief while. Those of you that are my age or older, you look back and wonder where it went. You young people here in this show ring won't remember the next 10 years. It'll be a blur, and when you get up to my age, it gets faster. So cherish every day, cherish every moment, enjoy what you do, and make the most of your time. I serve my Savior to His glory every moment of every day. Congratulate you on the sheep. Boy, these are good sheep. They're different. They look different. Dr. Greiner and I talked about that a lot of times, particularly in breeding shows. It's just hard to get a pattern, if you will, things that you like. But I've got a nice set of sheep out here. Their quality in terms of their skeletal build and their body type, their muscularity is good. They balance up appropriately as best we could in particular classes. And it's just my opinion of your livestock. It's not my opinion of anything but that. And we all have opinions about everything. I'd encourage you young people to keep your chin up, cherish the trip that you make, cherish the time you get to spend with your friends, the time you get to spend with your family, because you're making memories out here. You're not making family fortunes, and I just encourage you to do that. As far as the stock goes, I talked to them all, most of them multiple times, several of them probably ad nauseum for some of you that didn't end up out here. It's just what I like. Feet and legs and features got to be there. Balance needs to be there. Flexibility needs to be there. You noticed I walk them quite a bit. We run quite a few sheep at my house, and I don't sort my ewe lambs as keepers by grabbing them all and handling them. We run them down the alley, and we catch the ones off with a gait that we really like, and then we'll go back through and resort again, and we'll run them back out and move them again. And that's how I sort livestock. We don't grab them all. And so in moving them around, it's important they move. They're flexible. They're good enough in terms of their structure. Their lines stay good. Their body type's right. Their width is good. we're using these females to make seed stock, but we're also using them to make protein and market livestock, and that's where we need them to be real practical and useful. Then they have to have some exotic pieces and some eliteness out here. So once again, I've enjoyed myself. I appreciate it. Congratulate the young people. I'll get you a top 5 out of this group.
Your champion commercial heavyweight division exhibited by Hannah Cyphers from Washington County. Your reserve overall comes from the middleweight division exhibited by Carly Buchanan. Your third overall comes from the white face cross division exhibited by Mason Beamer. This is your Virginia bred champion. Fourth overall is coming out of that middleweight division exhibited by Samantha Wills from Fluvanna, which is your Virginia bred reserve. Fifth overall from your heavyweight division exhibited by Reagan Babb of Virginia Beach. This concludes our commercial U show. We do have an announcement. There will be a 50-50 at the rodeo today at the green tent. The winners will be announced during the poles and barrels competition. Attention in the barns, attention in the barns. No livestock is released until 2 p.m. today. No livestock is released until 2 p.m. today.